Welcome to Future Ready Live, where we talk about topics that will help CPAs, CGMAs, finance and accounting pros prepare for change and transformation. I'm your host, Tom Hood, the EVP for Engagement and Growth at AICPA SEMA, the largest association of professional accountants, CPAs and CGMAs in the world. Today, we're going to be talking about the future of finance and making the shift to a value partner to the business. And joining me is Claire Bramley, the CFO of Teradata and a member of our Future of Finance Leadership Advisory Group.
Hello, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Tom.
It's awesome to catch up with you from last year from the summit, and you'll be back with us, I think, this coming year, right? So we're going to talk about transformation of finance function with you and Chris Kite from Amazon Web Services on October 24th, the opening days of the North American Finance Executives Summit, NAFES, in Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to give our audience a little sneak peek of the session, starting with you and some of your transformation journey. So we're going to start with, how has the role of the finance leader and the finance team changing within organizations today, and what's driving that change?
Thank you, Tom. Great question. And I can't wait to be with you and Chris in Phoenix. It's going to be an awesome few days. And I can't wait for that live session that we're going to be doing together. But to your point, there are a lot of changes happening in finance. And it's been happening over a number of years. But I think with the pandemic and everything that we've been seeing in the last 2 to 3 years, that pace of change is just accelerating. And I can see it myself, the shift that we're making in the world today. When I started out very much focused on the pure accounting, the technical side, making sure we got the numbers right. We were the guardians, and the keepers of the numbers, and people would come to us and ask us, to verify information, to fact check and things like that. And I think over the years, we've evolved as a finance organization across the globe to be much more with regards to driving business value, for being that trusted business partner. And I think that has been happening for many, many years. But what I really see in the last few years that's accelerated extremely is the fact that we're now the catalyst for change. We're driving strategy. We are at the table, not just talking about the numbers, but really driving the business strategy, but, driving the future of the company, and really are those catalysts for change. So that's a big change, and that's accelerated a lot. We have a customer first mindset. We have to be that partner and trusted advisor, but we also have to be the ones at the table with the new ideas and really driving the transformation forward. And I think that's exciting for us as a finance members of and expertise. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to continue to add a lot of value to businesses moving forward.
It is really exciting, isn't it? I mean, and the neat thing for me is that this group that's in our Future Finance Leadership Advisory Group, you and a whole bunch of others, that you're all talking about, we're all kind of walking this journey, or maybe we're running this journey together because of the accelerated change, right? But it is kind of interesting. And I do think we've seen a lot of research that shows that trends have accelerated dramatically. Like one data point is e-commerce accelerated by 10 years during the pandemic.
It's incredible.
And then obviously that's a driver of a lot of the business transformation that we're all responsible for, right? So.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're seeing it ourselves. I work for Teradata, as you mentioned. It's a data and analytics company, and the leaps and bounds that our customers are making in that space when it comes to analytical capabilities, and just the use of all of the data and the growth in data that's out there is incredible. I think we're seeing it across multiple industries, and I think your example is a great one in e-commerce as well.
Well, and you're at the forefront of this with Teradata, right? Being a data company. And so any more, like, what exactly does Teradata do?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Teradata. Not everyone has heard from it. I didn't know Teradata, I'll be honest, before I joined the company. Well, So yeah, we are a company that is a multi-cloud data platform, and we really focus on enterprise analytics. So we have global enterprise customers across the world, across many different industries, and we are working with them to solve their business challenges from start to scale. And we use data and analytics to do that. We were born on-prem. We came as many companies on-prem in a perpetual world, and we've made a big transition over the last several years. First of all, to subscription, along with many other companies, and now we're on our journey to cloud. So in the last couple of years, we've really moved our strategic direction forward to be cloud first, but not cloud only. And yeah, we work with the hypercloud providers to offer global enterprises a software that basically enables them to access data regardless of where it is. I think, Tom, we know data is in so many different systems and in so many different places. So our software allows companies to access that data where it is and then do really complex analytics to make better decisions quicker, more accurate, across many industries. So it's an exciting time, and we have just launched our first cloud native product, which is called Vantage Cloud Lake. So we're very excited right now. And on a great journey.
That's cool. It's also cool that you have a big role in that as the CFO. So kudos.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. No, it's wonderful. And I think, like many companies, Teradata values its finance organization, but also here at Teradata, as the CFO, I'm lucky enough not just to be finance. I actually run IT, security, real estate, business process management, so procurement. So I have a number of different functions, and honestly, it's a wonderful team, and we are all there to really enable the business and help us support the business. And I think finance do that extremely well here at Teradata, but we're evolving. I think, like many different companies, we're on a journey. And to your point, having the leadership council and having a network of people to go through that journey with, we leverage, we're solving real issues and finding solutions together on the leadership team. So, and it's great to do it with you and all of the other great leaders that we have on our council, because, you learn from each other, and you can use each other for information, for, sharing ideas and getting feedback. So that leadership advisory group has been really valuable to me over the last 12 months or so.
That's good to hear, and we hear that from a lot of the folks on the group, and we stand on all your shoulders, because you guys are a bunch of really smart people and doing some really cool things. So when you combine that brain power, it's pretty powerful. All right, so now obviously the accelerated transformation and the expanded role, you're a living example of that value partner and all those functions that you're taking over. But let's talk about the struggle for talent. Is that a big issue? And how do you attract, develop, and retain talent in this age of the great resignation and quiet quitting and all these other things that they're talking about?
Yeah, it's been a journey, let's put it that way. But we can never forget that people are our most important asset. I talk a lot about the global village of people that make things happen across Teradata, across my team, and they are at the heart of everything we do. So the changes that we've seen in the last few years, to your point, have accelerated. A lot of people have been wanting a different balance, a lot of people wanting to try new things, and there's been a lot of opportunities out there for many people. But I'm really proud to say that we have really developed over the last few years a lot of development plans, and our programs here at Teradata really, shifted to make sure that we're focusing on engagement, well-being. We, like many companies, we're running wellness days and just training of how to work and be able to balance work and life in this kind of hybrid and very virtual world now. So, we've been focusing on many different things and evolving, whether it's mentoring programs, executive development, and just really focusing on the talent and giving people new opportunities. I'm a big fan, and I have to admit, I get it from HP, and because they gave me a lot of experiences to rotate into many different roles and to get lots of experiences. And so I've brought that with me to Teradata, and we've introduced our own rotational program. So we're encouraging people to go and try something new. something that they may not have done before or even considered to do. And hopefully someone on my team won't mind me using them as an example. I had a head of my internal audit and enterprise risk team, and he's now moved into investor relations, and that may not have been something that he was thinking about doing before. And I think giving people those opportunities and helping to develop and grow them is what enables you to retain talent and also attract and identify new talent in the organization, both internally and externally. And if you continue to develop them, they're always going to be more loyal and want to stay. So I think that investment we're making as a leadership team, as a company, has helped us in the last few years. And it's always so exciting and amazing to see what people are capable of doing. Yeah. If you give them the opportunity, if you give them the chance, people always surprise me for the positive. I can't say I've ever been surprised for the negative. People step up, they deliver, they perform, and hopefully they enjoy it too. So.
I hear you. That's definitely the right mindset, Claire, for sure. And I love that story of internal audit to investor relations. They're very different functions, and that's pretty exciting. That's really cool. So, and then the whole idea of investing in your talent, which we obviously believe in as well.
Absolutely.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the Future Finance Group. I know you mentioned it a little bit, but you were at the beginning of that on this journey, and obviously our first summit in Nashville last December. So give me your experience, and what have you enjoyed the most and your biggest insight from being with this group?
Oh, honestly, it's wonderful. It is truly amazing to have that ability to be able to network and collaborate with like-minded people, finding solutions together and learning from each other is such an opportunity. I talk a lot to my team about the importance of networking and the importance of collaboration. And actually, our internal motto is collaboration and expertise wins. So if there's not a great example of our finance leadership group where you've got collaboration and expertise, you put them together to drive great results, I can't think of a better example in terms of how we've done that, Todd, and how you guys have pulled us all together. So we're going through the same things. We're all going through big transformations over the years. We're all at different stages, and we all have different experiences, either experiences that are current, experiences from the past. So it really is just a great opportunity to leverage. It's a safe space, with peers to ask questions and learn from each other. And it's not just all talk. We're finding usable solutions. We've got things that we're taking away and implementing in our companies, and I think that's just wonderful.
Yeah, we're excited to continue this journey this December, and NAFES will be another example. We'll be with a bunch of really high-level finance execs. But the thing that I really was surprised about and love is that I thought there would be like a bias from a lot of the large corporate CFOs like you that would want more in their industry, or they're not big enough, or they're too big, and yet everyone, different size companies, big and mid, it's been amazing, and completely different industries. And I think that's where the power is, because we're in a new era, right? Where there isn't a lot of clear answers. And what I think you guys are doing is collectively shining a light on what looks like the future. And that's where I think it's really exciting that you're giving us all that mind share.
I couldn't agree more. There's no one right answer. There's no one path to the future to move things forward. So if we between us can try different things and be agile and be able to learn from each other and each other's experiences, and see how things respond, it means you can move so much faster. If we're all trying different things, but we're then giving that feedback and inputs and experiences, I don't have to go and then try the same thing. I can take that from somebody else and apply that to my team or to my organization. So I think to your point, there's no right answer. We don't know what the future holds, but we can get there much quicker when we work together.
Yeah, I think, and that we're like living proof of that. It's kind of neat. And one of the things we're going to be coming up with soon is that financial maturity model that we've been working on for a couple months, looking at
Absolutely.
6 dimensions of finance transformation, and how do you kind of rate yourself in terms of where things are. I think that'll be amazing.
Yes, I can't wait to use it with my team, and we're already talking about it. And
That's
that's the thing;
cool.
it moves really quickly.
That
Things
is
do
cool.
move quickly, which is
Yeah.
very exciting.
And the key is keeping this group up with all the but I think everybody's ready for it. We're moving rather fast for this group. So let's talk a little bit about the Chief Future Officer. If you remember last December,
Yeah.
we came up with like the key phrases that the group thought would symbolize the CFO of the future, or that we called it the Chief Future Officer.
We did.
Making the shift, right, from historical to projection. But a couple of the phrases: rear view mirror to windshield view, hindsight to strategic foresight, cost to a value focus. Remember core and the edge, like edge and innovation projects need to be looked at a little differently. My favorite, the CF no to the CF no, KNOW. Scorekeeper to value partner, tangibles and intangibles, descriptive analytics to prescriptive analytics, all built on that foundation of ethics, stewardship, and trust. What's your perspective on that, and any favorites in that set of phrases?
Yeah, so I mean, it's so relevant, and like I said, we came from being the kind of the scorekeepers, a much more rigid focus on costs. To your point, saying no, we can't afford to do this. To how do we find solutions? What are the different options? How can we move these forward? And to your point, the scorekeeper, that's a big one for me. It's not about having the data. It's about what you do with the data. And that's a big thing for us at Teradata, obviously being a data and analytics company. It's not just about having a dashboard and and data in front of you. It's way beyond that now. It's really, what is it telling us? What decisions are we going to make with that? And being able to come forward with all those recommendations and advice on topics sometimes that are very relevant to finance topics, and sometimes are relevant but not normally run by the CFO. Like one a classic example I'm working on right now, and I think many of my peers are heavily involved too, is ESG. I mean, yes, there's a data element to ESG, but it really is, how do we drive the ESG strategy of our companies forward? And so I'm the co-sponsor of our project here at Teradata. And I think that, to your point, the Chief Future Officer, it's about what are we doing as a company moving forward in these key areas, which may not have traditionally considered as part of the role of finance in the past. And they're so important, and we're adding a huge amount of value. And it just makes it so interesting and exciting.
Yeah, so it's funny because remember in Nashville we had a big conversation about ESG, and I think to the surprise of a lot of people, the group said we want to drive ESG. We're not just gonna wait and go, oh God, another regulation we have to account for. You all said this is a way we can actually create value inside our enterprises, right? And wanted to say sign up, which you obviously have done. That I think that's a perfect example, as you put. So let me ask you this question about, is there any issues now for you in terms of thinking about recession and inflation? Is that shifted any of your role? How are you dealing with that, or what you might hear from your peers and stuff that are doing that?
Yeah, I think the way we've been talking about it internally is, it does put pressure. It puts cost pressure on all of us, and I think everyone's seeing that. And so it comes down to, though, we still have to invest for the future, though. We can't sacrifice that.
Yep.
So we talk about ruthlessly prioritizing.
It.
What other things from a business standpoint? What are the things and I really think about people, process, technology. That's kind of my mantra. Mm-hmm. And in those three areas, we have to ruthlessly prioritize investments to make sure we are looking after our people and enabling them to be the best, making sure that we've got the right processes end to end, and also making the right investments in technology. But we can't do everything, especially when we've got cost pressures and inflationary pressures. So we are going to have to prioritize and making sure, and again, we can lead that from finance. We can drive that discussion at the leadership table in the sense of how are we going to prioritize to ensure we're doing the right thing, not just for today, not just for the next 12 months, but for next 3, 5, and 7 years to come. And we're the leaders, and like I mentioned, catalyst of change. driving these discussions. And that is the role now that finance is playing every day in companies across the world.
Well, you're definitely an example of that. And I love the catalyst of change. I love that. I love the ruthless prioritization and the notion of people, process, and technology. There's a whole bunch of really good points that you've captured in this conversation, Claire. Last piece is, what advice would you give to our audience about starting a transformation journey or continuing in this environment?
So I would say planning helps, but things don't always go according to plan. So be agile. So having a plan is great because it helps to think through where you want to go. Where do you think you need new experiences? It helps you to move forward, but you have to be agile because things never turn out as you would expect.
For sure.
And I think so that from a personal standpoint, though, take control.
Yeah.
Take control of your own career, take control of your own experiences. I've been lucky enough to be able to almost, create some roles that are, I think, give me that experience that may not have existed before. So take control. And I will come back to collaboration, come back to networking, because we as individuals, we can do a lot for sure. We can work hard, we can drive things forward, but teamwork really does make the difference. It's about having the right team around you, both from a personal standpoint and a career standpoint, and that's when you'll meet your full potential.
What a way to close. You're reminding me of one of my favorite phrases is, I think that in this environment of rapid change, that the collaboration curve is going to beat the experience curve.
It's so important right now. So important right now. And whether it's collaboration internally within a company, whether it's collaboration, like we are doing, for example, as a group of finance leaders across multiple industries, with the leadership advisory group, whether it's your personal network and learning from other companies, just collaboration, like it really does speed up change. And it comes back, one of my favorite books, I have to say, like, is The Speed of Trust.
Yeah.
So it just speeds things up and moves things forward. And when things are moving as fast as they are right now, that's the best way to make sure that you don't get left behind. Collaborate.
That's awesome. Claire, you've been amazing. I want to thank you for this. LinkedIn, you can find her on LinkedIn at Claire Bramley, Claire Bramley. Do you have a Twitter account? I didn't catch you on Twitter.
I do, but I don't use it as much as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the way to go.
All right, LinkedIn is what she's up to. I want to point out the Twitter handle for the NAFES conference. It's at EP_NAFES. Hopefully we'll see some of you at that conference as well. And I'll put a link to that in our comments. Claire, this has been awesome. I want to thank you for giving us this time and appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tom. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.